Hey guys, Ashlyn here from Minister for Happiness and welcome to this week's story time. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far, and as always I would ask you to like and share this story with anyone you think will benefit from it, especially this week, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get the updated story time every Sunday. And as always, the purpose of this weekly story is to impact us in a way that's going to bring some nice life lessons into our lives that can help us enhance and improve our lives in the best ways possible. And I think this week's story is very relevant to the times we live in. And it's a story that I've heard many times, but it was a newspaper article in the 70s. And it was a story told of this young man who was healthy, strong, vibrant, had a wife and 2 young kids, was in the prime of his life really, but his only problem was he was a terrible worrier. And one day he worked on the railroad, and one day they got to finish early as it was the foreman's birthday. And he unfortunately got locked into one of the refrigerator carts in the railroad. And all of the people had left, and he banged on the door and he screamed and shouted for someone to let him out, but everybody was gone. And after a few hours of being in the refrigerator box, he started to panic. He felt he was getting colder, and he started to worry, was he going to make it out alive? And he found a knife and he started to etch out on a piece of wood because he wanted to leave a message for his wife and kids. You know, I'm feeling colder, I'm finding it hard to breathe. And eventually wrote, you know, these may be my last words, I just want to sleep. The next morning, his work colleagues slid the big door open from the outside to find him dead. And when he was tested and the post-mortem on his body was performed, he had all the signs of someone who had frozen to death. His body had those physical signs and symptoms. It turned out though, unfortunately, that the boxcar that he was in, the refrigerator boxcar, was malfunctioned and it wasn't working. So the temperature in the boxcar was actually 55 degrees. It had never dropped in temperature. He had not actually frozen to death. The only solution they could come up with, or conclusion they could come to, was that he had worried himself to death. And I suppose the lesson in this, even though I'm sure the story over the years has been, you know, told in many different ways, and even the version I tell today may not be the accurate one, it's probably been diluted over time, but I think the message is clear, that sometimes we worry unnecessarily. Now, if something is wrong, as Ernest Hemingway once said, if something is wrong, then fix it if you can, but try not to worry. Worry never fixed anything. When you have something to deal with in your life and it's happening, then you have to deal with it. That is your reality. But if you're worrying about something that may never happen and it doesn't, then you've worried unnecessarily. If you worry about something that may happen and it does, then you've suffered twice. So just remember, until you have to deal with something, keep your mental state as calm and as positive as possible, so that when you do have to deal with it, you're in a better physical and mental state to deal with it. So please take this life lesson into your week and like and share this story, because I really do think there's a wonderful lesson in it, and more people need to hear that right now, to keep calm and to mind themselves as much as possible. Until next week, please, as I said, like and share this story and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for those of you who like a good story, my book 21 Sleeps is available on Amazon. Until next week, have a super week and stay healthy. Bye.